Blog Talk Radio.
Fantasy sports and politics. You wanna talk back? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your face. I know you got to live, you know I got mine. But there's like 50 other dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir. Next caller, please. And if I don't pick her, we can agree to disagree. Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Fantasy Sports and Politics. It's me, Mr. FSP, doing what I do because I do it for you. Got to raise that up a little bit. Welcome to Fantasy Sports and Politics on the Saturday edition, where it's me, Mr. FSP, along with JT.
That's me.
He's grooving.
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good today, man. I'm ready to rumble.
Ready to rumble. And I'm, you know what? Let me get my hat too. Since I got the jersey, let me get my hat.
Hey, let me explain. Let me explain something to you. Not explain. Let me explain something to you, young blood. You're going to regret wearing that jersey.
Terry McLaurin? No, I won't. Listen, okay. I'm a realist.
Okay.
Now I sent.
No, you're not a realist. Stop.
Wait a minute.
You're not.
Wait a minute. I sent the invite out to Tony Carson, who's a buddy of mine from high school. Who's been on the show a little bit, a couple times.
Right.
He's a Washington Commanders fan, but you would never know. You would never know by his comments.
Now I'm telling you, he's a realist. He's a realist.
Jerry.
He keeps it 100. You don't look, and I keep saying this.
Hold on.
I keep saying
hold on.
I keep going back to a few good men.
Wait.
You can't handle the truth.
Jerry, let me do the show. Because all you're doing is trying to just rag on people. And you, just be quiet. Just be quiet. Since Jerry did not do a direct connect through
Block Talk
Radio.
Hello.
You guys are gonna have to hear him through my microphone.
Okay.
And you cannot see his antics if you're on Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah,
however, if you're on StreamYard or Facebook or Twitch or YouTube,
I'm having a good time. This
67-year-old man.
68. Whoa, 68.
That makes it worse. This 68-year-old man is acting like he's 10 years old.
I'm repping 68, man.
I'm glad you are, because you're acting like you're 10. But it's okay, because I know how you really are in person when the cameras ain't on.
No, don't even try that. Don't even try that.
I don't want to go nowhere. That's too far to walk. But as I said,
wait a minute. I've never ever said it's too far to walk. Don't even try. I never ever said it's too far to walk. You know what I want to? You know what I want to do?
You said it was too hot.
Well, it was hot. It was hot, and I have to admit, because I've been around here, and I knew it was going to be a hot summer. It's been a hot summer and a very humid summer. You know how it is down in DC when it's hot. It's humid. I love that. But this heat and humidity doesn't compare to Las Vegas heat. I'm not talking about humidity, because they have very little of that. They just got heat.
Well, I'm going to bring some heat to you today.
Triple-digit heat.
On today's show, if you want to chime in, folks, you can dial 347-637-3220. Again, that number is 347-637-3220. That's on Blog Talk Radio. I'll try to bring you live on air. If you want to get on the video portion, go to my Facebook page, Victor Gardner. Jump on there. Comment on the video. go to my YouTube page again. Victor Gardner, or it's VICHBK, one or two, and there. Or if you're on Twitch, because I noticed we have one person that likes to follow us on Twitch, which I'm very thankful for. Look, Pookie, can you stop shaking like you on that stuff? I know you're twitching. I know. I got it. Oh my God. You can go there and make a comment as well. But on today's show, we got two topics, three things. First, I normally, and I'm addicted because this is a business for me. And whenever you're trying to be good at a business, you got to be in it all the time, 24/7, 365. That's why we do fantasy football 24/7, 365 a year on this network. I normally have maybe 3 or 4 drafts already done. Well, I completed my very first, Jerry. I completed my very first fantasy draft last night in a different format. We're going to talk about it. So I'm going to bring it up and I'm going to show you guys what it is I drafted and how this company grades a draft based upon their style. And believe it or not, for them, if you don't have 3 or 4 receivers in the first 4 rounds, you have done poorly. But I will tell you this. I think yesterday when I did the draft, it was a little bit of an outlier because there were some comments made that, hey, people are behind the 8 ball, they're going to struggle. But when they were breaking down the teams and their omnipotent expert was on air and he got to my team, I drafted him in the 3 spot. He said, oh, I like that. I like this player. If this player does perform, this is a really strong team. But I didn't go with the trend or the formula that their system dictates. But we're going to break down and show you the players I drafted, how their system ranked them, and when they're supposed to have been drafted. And I will admit, I did call Jerry. I hate Jerry sometimes, but I love him most of the time.
He made a call to Dr. Phil.
Hey.
I gave.
So when I did have a question because I thought I was drafted in one spot, but ended up being a spot later. And I was conflicted because I've been dogging this one player out for the longest period of time because I don't believe he should be drafted where he's normally drafted. Turns out I didn't need to worry about it because I wasn't in that spot. So that one question turned into Jerry just giving his 2 cents on everything. I listened to some, but I didn't use all. But a couple of them, I think are going to pan out, at least early on in the season. With that being said, we're going to do that as well as cover the NFC East and the AFC East.
Can I comment? I want to comment on this.
I know you want to. I want to
comment on this.
I want to give you a second to comment.
Okay.
But those are the 3 topics we're going to cover today. Hopefully, we get them all in within 2 hours. If Jerry doesn't try to talk forever, okay. If not, we're going to go 3 hours, 2 hours live on Blog Talk Radio, and the video is going to go until we finish. So with that being said, welcome to the show. I thank everybody. And before Jerry makes his comment, I got to start us off with this.
Carrying the ball 20 times a game requires power and valor, not niftiness. The water bug and whippet backs rarely survive the wail and howl of the banshee. Stacked defenses in the pros. They must meld the buck of a billy goat with the sudden surge of a sprinter. He does not move with polish or slickness. His method is not Grand Prix, but Demolition Derby.
All right. With that being the case, I'm going to let Jerry talk. But, Jerry, before you talk, do you want me to pull up the team, the draft,
After.
Okay, go ahead.
After. Now, Mr. FSP called me. Okay. I got no problem with that. Now, he like
Because we're friends.
yes, and I'm not knocking him, but this is an issue, and I gotta point it out. He and along with those people that he was drafting, see their lineup and see, oh, it's 3 wide receivers. I have to get the wide receivers quickly. No.
Don't say me, because I wasn't thinking that.
You one of the
I was contemplating that first pick to be a wide receiver. Yes.
Look, one of the first things you said to me was got 3 wide receivers. I got to get wide receivers. No.
Yeah, but
the mantra of me, everybody should know that when they are in a league with me, is I go after running backs first.
Correct.
And the more versatile the running backs, the quicker I try to pick them up. Because those running backs run the football, catch passes. Run the football and catch passes. That's a dual threat running back. Wide receivers only catch passes. Okay. And in this draft, more and more each year, there's a vast array of quality wide receivers that you don't have to get in the first and second round. You can get them in the third, fourth round and on that are number 1 wide receivers on their team.
I'm gonna stop you right there, because that came up. If you looked at the red versus blue draft number 2 video that I was telling you I watched after the draft,
right?
They were praising some folks that did a similar thing, but their receivers were mainly number 2s because of they were going after the top flight big bang for your buck receivers, right? So like number 12 came out with 4 straight wide receivers, right? First,
What?
second, third, and fourth.
That's stupid. Then he's getting a round 5 running back. That's stupid.
Wait. That's what I'm getting to.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't the only one. There was a couple others, but number 12 came out with 4 straight wide receivers, and then got a running back, which ended up being, I can go over the teams in a minute, but it wasn't a very good running back. Another team that was, I believe, drafting number 5, same thing, except their leading running back is David Montgomery. Not a bad lead running back. However, comma, it was if that's your lead running back, and this is a receiving and running, the running back has to be a receiver in the system.
Absolutely.
Or a heavy volume running back. That's not going to bode well, even though I know they're going to try to run David Montgomery this year, but the box is going to be stacked because nobody's afraid of Darnell Mooney.
Yeah.
Nobody's afraid of who did they just pick up from the Patriots? Markel. I can't remember his name. No one's afraid of the passing game in Chicago. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the problem with that. Then there were other persons who the first running back was DeAndre Swift, and their second running back was Jamal Williams. So
Jamal Williams,
his backup, that was his second running back.
What?
Again, that person is banking on DeAndre Swift being the bell cow all year.
That's not
he does catch the ball and he does run the ball, but you're banking on him being the bell cow. And if he goes down, Jamal Williams stepping up and taking all the stuff. But what happens is now he has to go. I think he drafted 3 running backs, but the other ones were people that nondescript, meaning you're hoping they're getting on the field. One of the conversations we had, right?
The bottom line is this: if you go after wide receiver early, you're going to put yourself more and more behind the 8 ball with the running back.
And I agree with that. Now, the only reason why I agree with that is this right now, in this format, because I'm about to pull it up. Thanks to whoever's listening, watching, whatever.
Okay.
In this format, it is slanted toward the receiver and yards.
I understand that.
So I'm telling the people that don't understand that. So just chill.
Yeah.
So the profile is this. Your quarterback, he's going to throw for 4. If he throws a touchdown, it's only 4 points. That's standard in some leagues. Not mine, but in some leagues.
Mm-hmm.
So if Joe Burrow last year had like a hell of a year throwing for a lot of touchdowns and minuscule interceptions, but he also ran some too. So the top quarterbacks in these leagues are Josh Allen at number 1, Pat Mahomes, then Justin Herbert. Not Lamar, because Lamar is a runner, but his passing numbers aren't that good. But he gets drafted. Quarterbacks typically get drafted in this style of draft in the 9th and 10th round.
Absolutely.
Midway through the draft.
Right.
Because the emphasis is on yards and receptions. So if you have a receiver who's people don't, Hunter Renfrow, I want to get Hunter Renfrow, but we ran into a situation where I was like, it's the same bye week as my starters. So it's going to hurt me. So I didn't get Hunter. However, he's a PPR machine. He might not be a touchdown machine, but he's a PPR machine. Then you run into Cooper Kupp, who I wanted to get at number 3, and that was the discussion that I was having with JT. Did I want to go ahead and get Cooper Kupp at number 3 and turn around and get a different running back? There were several running backs available. There was even a point in the 6th or the 5th round where I could have gotten Alvin Kamara. But not knowing his situation with the judicial system and the NFL, I didn't grab him. But with that being said, we're going to pull up the team and we're going to share it. So give me 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, as I share my screen so you all can see what it is we're referring to. All right. So you should see JT and myself down in your lower, if you're looking at this, your lower left-hand corner.
All right.
You should see the team I drafted and what it is that the ADP and stuff like that. So I drafted in the 3rd spot. That's the first thing. I drafted in the 3rd spot. And my question, because I was worried about, do I want to get Cooper Kupp at number 2? Because I thought I had number 2, actually, when I called JT. Do I want to go get after Cooper Kupp or CMC? I hate grabbing CMC because he's never healthy. So that was the reason why I called JT, because if I had number 1, number 5 or something, I can pretty much decide what I wanted to do. But I always loved Austin Eckler. And last year he proved it that he was worth it silently. And this year they're going to be in a position where he's going to get the ball a lot from the backfield, running and receiving. So we settled on Austin Eckler, which meant I had 23 picks for my next pick, JT? 23, 24 picks, something like that?
Yes.
So we knew that who I wanted to target, which was like going to be Aaron Jones or something like that, will probably be gone. But we also thought there's going to be some decent wide receivers. But throughout the draft, and I think I can pull up the draft. I'd have to go to the league and see if I can pull up the draft results. But the value of that receiver versus the value of that running back was the question. There were still some awesome running backs. If you see, I got Nick Chubb in the 3rd round. That's pretty good value.
Oh, that's a hell of a good value.
I know. So, and I'm going to show you right now.
Even though they said that's even value, that's a hell of a value.
Yeah. So if you look in the middle column,
Yeah.
It tells you the ADP value. Now, this is based upon their scoring system.
Mm-hmm.
Now, overall, it says I overdrafted 16.8 positions out of a 12-team league, which is 240 picks. But for the most part, I wasn't that far off on the players I picked.
Right.
Some of them were a little high, some were a little low.
Thanks to Dr. Phil.
9.6. I don't believe Adam Thielen was drafted too early.
Thanks to Dr. Phil.
I don't think he was drafted too early, even though by their system, Adam Thielen should have been a 63rd player taken. I got him at the 51st. So, I'm looking at the value that they give him. And I'll be honest, the player that Jerry had to sell me on, because I was like, and this might be a player that sticks on my team throughout the long haul, but he's definitely there at the beginning of the season, is Jalen Tolbert. I am definitely not a Dallas Cowboy fan. Definitely not. At that position, no, I was going to say, I had a choice. Before I picked George Kittle, I had a choice to get Terry McLaurin, who I wanted to get, or George Kittle. And George Kittle and I think Darren Waller were the two top-rated tight ends left. And I was like, you know what? Let me go get George. And I'll come back around and get Terry. Well, Terry got snatched up before I got him. So that's why I got Michael Thomas. But needless to say, Jalen Tolbert and Jahad Dotson were the two receivers I was targeting to go back-to-back with to fill out my receivers. So therefore, I had some bona fide studs in DK Metcalf, Thielen, and Michael Thomas. Thing is, Michael Thomas, he's going to play this year. Is he going to play the full season? We don't know. Is he going to be that effective? We don't know. But we do know he's going to get volume. We do know he's going to get volume. Adam Thielen is a volume guy anyway. Justin Jefferson, yes, he's going to be the big play guy. But Thielen's going to get me 5 catches a game, maybe 60, 70 yards, and a possible TD. That's a guaranteed 11, 12 points. If you look on the side, he averaged 15 points on the far left side. Adam Thielen averaged last year 15.4 points. In the same system, well, different system because it's going to be a different offensive coordinator and an offensive player.
Thanks to Dr. Phil.
But the value is there. The value is there. So when I look at and this is full-time fantasy, just to let y'all know, they're in Vegas. I like what they do a lot. It's just sometimes it was a little, how should I say, up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Where things were. It wasn't always as crisp and clean as I would like. But this year they're doing their live drafts with MGM Grand. Every year they have some celebrity or former athlete participate in the live draft, so you're going against them. And in this particular draft, Red versus Blue Player Profile Championship, I learned that this particular draft, I have 3 national champions in the same league. Last year's champion of 2 of the 3 Red versus Blues is in this league. And he won, I think, $100,000 last year. And I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing, but we'll see what happens. But if you go down on the right side column, you see I got Austin Eckler, Javonte Williams, Nick Chubb, followed by my first receiver in the 4th round, which is DK Metcalf, followed right back around with Adam Thielen. Now, there were several receivers above Adam that I could have picked. But I was worried about several things. I was worried about the system they were in and the quarterback play, namely Deontay Washington. Trubisky Claypool, they were there and they were ranked above Thielen. But I'm worried about them getting the ball and getting in the end zone. So I go with somebody that I know is shorthanded in a good system, especially in a system that showed Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp be dominant. Now, Justin Jefferson is not the slot guy like Cooper Kupp is. Adam Thielen is. So the volume in that offense is going to flow through Adam Thielen, but the big plays are still going to come from Justin Jefferson. The thing is this, is Van Jefferson, no, excuse me, not Van Jefferson, Kelly Osborne going to be able to step up and pull his weight too? I don't know. And so Tolbert is a guy that JT talked to me about. He convinced me to get him because we don't know when Michael Gallup's going to be there. We know he's coming back, but it doesn't look like he's going to be back for week 1. We also know CeeDee Lamb is going to be the bell cow. But somebody else has got to catch some balls. Marcus Pollard will. But I think this young kid, Tolbert, is going to, do some damage the first couple weeks. So even if Michael Thomas doesn't show up, I still got somebody who's going to play. And even if he doesn't show up, I still have Tim Patrick, who I got later on. The number 3 receiver in Denver. And guess what? I got the quarterback and the running back in Denver. So with that being said, you can look at the numbers. You can see for yourself where I drafted folks, how I got them. Oh, and the last player that JT convinced me to get was Zamir White. The reason why I say he had to convince me is because I don't like the 3 4-headed monster. We know Josh Jacobs is the guy. But we also know that they brought in Kenyon Drake, who's a third down back. We also know both those players might not be on the team next year. And if they get hurt and Zamir White continues to show out, it's a chance. It's a chance. And I don't really like getting handcuffs in these types of leagues, but Isaiah Spiller became more attractive to me now that I know they're trying to shop Henderson. But Spiller's coming off a broken foot. He's said to be back in time for preseason, and that'll be a telltale sign for me. I don't like taking those chances in a fantasy draft when, it's a player, unless you're playing special teams, because as I said, this league, you get points for those yards, those return yards. You get points if the player is returning for a touchdown. So if you're just on the team and you're not part of the kick game, I'm not really too keen on it. But a handcuff is a handcuff if things work out. All right, JT, take it away before I pull the screen off.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Isaiah Spiller did not break his foot.
Say again?
Isaiah Spiller did not break his foot. You said Isaiah, you were hesitant in picking up that handcuff because he.
Who is it that you said broke their foot in training camp? I mean, broke their foot and is coming back off of breaking their foot. I thought it was
Kyren Williams from the Rams.
Kelly Williams in Los Angeles. You're right. I didn't get him. Yeah. You're right.
So and the fact is that I think get Isaiah Spiller as the only handcuff that you have is because he's going to be used because Austin Eckler, they don't want to overwork him. If you overwork Austin Eckler, there's a strong chance of him getting injured. So Isaiah Spiller is probably going to be the number 2 over Justin Jackson and whoever else. And he's going to spell Austin Eckler. And he'll be a monster in that Chargers offense if anything happens to Austin Eckler. So I didn't want you to lose that ability in your first round pick by picking up his handcuff very late in the draft. And you got real good value, if I'm not mistaken. Right? It was close.
It was one pick before
his
ADP.
Yeah. So I think, in my opinion, I think he did pretty good here, man. I like this team. I like damn sure I like the 3 running backs sitting there. That's very nice.
I do too, because the value in a bruising running back. And here's the thing. I like Nick Chubb a lot, even though he's probably on his last year and a half with the team. Because if Deshaun Watson's not there, they're leaning on him heavy with Jacoby Brissett.
Even if Deshaun Watson is there,
I know.
It's a run
Let me finish my thought. They're going to lean heavy on him. DeForest, you know what I mean.
Ernest Johnson.
Because Kareem Hunt is a very good back, but he costs more money and he's older. They're going to phase him out. I believe Kareem Hunt is probably going to get phased out. And what Johnson did in the absence of both those players last year is the reason why they gave him a new contract, and they're making room for him. I wanted him on the team, but then again, I said, look, I already got one handcuff. I didn't want to get a second handcuff, because if you look at my team, week 9, half of my team is gone. Now, the other half that's going to be there ain't shabby at all. But week 9, whoever I play week 9, they're not going to have to score but too much. When 2 of my top 3 running backs are going to be gone.
Well, let me
wait a minute. When
you're talking and all.
Hey! It's my show. Hold up. My team. I don't talk about your team. You didn't draft. But just wait.
I did draft.
You're dogging me out for drafting.
No. Last night I did draft.
No, you didn't. Whatever. Just listen. Sit back and listen for a second. Okay?
Yeah. Last night I did draft.
The point is week 9 is going to be a week for me. Yeah. And if you look at the players this year, week 9 is going to be a hard time for everybody, especially if you're looking for players to fill spots versus names that you like, that are productive. Because there was a chance for me, like I didn't want to get Irv Smith, even though Jerry was like, get him. I wanted to get Dallas Goedert. It was Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz. Or was it Zach Ertz?
Yeah.
No. It was Okajobi. It was Albert Oka, whatever. The Denver Bronco tight end. I wanted to get him, but what did I find out? He and George Kittle have the same bye week, and I can't have a hole at tight end. Now I can go with a hole at defense, because in this scoring system, defense is only getting you 6 or 7 points a week versus a tight end who can get you 7 to 10 points a week. You see, a kicker, I'm not going to go without a kicker, because any given week, kickers range. Matter of fact, let me see the average of my kickers. So 10 points. There you go. 10 points. Both kickers I got averaged about 10 points.
Where the heck are they at?
The Bengals kicker. Well, they're right. Well, let me bring it down because our heads are covering it.
Oh.
There. So now week 3. So here's something I wanted to show everybody too. Week 1 through 2 is a rotisserie style scoring. So what they do is it's 12 teams. the top 6 highest scores get a win. The lowest 6 get a loss. Then you're, ranked accordingly. In week 3 is when I begin. Squared Hammer is the reigning champion. I got him in week 4.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How does his team look? Can you find that out?
Let's go. We'll try. Because I want to. Here we go. Squared Hammer. All right, he's got Christian. He drafted before me. He was drafting right before me too.
Ooh.
Christian McCaffrey. Michael Pittman. Fournette. Brees Hall. Gabriel Davis. Allen Lazard. Hopkins. Woods. Naeem Hines. He got Dak. Galladay. He got the tight end.
Yep.
And Jefferson. Chuba as his lock-in. Oh, I forgot about Logan Thomas.
You got David Bell. That's what I'm talking about.
I know, but he also got Logan Thomas, who I forgot all about.
You wanted me to. I tell you about David Bell. I'm telling you, but nobody listens.
Guy, I got you.
David Bell hasn't dropped the pass yet.
The problem is that oh man, here we go. The problem is that no, I got to go to my team. Oh, geez. The problem is that it was a week 9 situation. A week 9. Let's see Mogul Madness, my week 3 opponent that's face to face. I do not like what I see already.
What's that?
Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, Kyle Pitts. Are his first 3.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Then Josh Allen. So here's what we get. I don't like what I got to face week 1, but he overdrafted. If you look at it, he overdrafted by 69.8. Oh my God. That's kind of bad, but it's not. Okay. So we got Dalvin, Aaron, Kyle, Josh, Hunter, which is PPR machine. Devontae is going to be pretty up and down, especially if they're going to try to give the ball to A.J. Brown when they throw. Melvin Gordon is the vulture, I guess, of my team because I got Javonte. He's got Garrett Wilson, J.D. because I really don't like his receiving core outside of Renfro. But the problem is this: I love Cook, I love Jones, I love Pitts, I love his first 5 picks. Everyone else is Rondale Moore. I like him too because, believe it or not, I believe he's going to get the most love. While
picked up guys.
Say again.
He picked up guys I would have picked up. Deontay Foreman, Nico Collins. I don't like his combination of running backs. I tell you that right now. I don't like his combination of running backs. I don't think.
Well, I like his first 2. And remember, in this league, you only need to start 2. That's it. Everybody else, you don't have to start.
Well, don't you have a flex?
You got 2 flex positions. And again, you want a player in that flex is going to get receptions. It's not about, or they're a heavy run team. So if you're going to play, like for me, I know Javonte and Eckler are mainstays because they're going to run and catch the ball. I love the fact that I got Nick Chubb, who's going to be a mainstay at flex because they're going to give him volume unless they do what they did last year and they split it up like 12 rushes for him and 12 rushes for Hunt. But in those 12 rushes, Chubb does damage.
Say thank you, Dr. Phil.
What?
Say thank you, Dr. Phil.
Say thank you, who?
Dr. Phil. Thank
No.
you, Doc. Thank you, Dr. Phil, for your advice.
I didn't need your advice to get Nick Chubb. What are you talking about? I got Nick Chubb because I saw the value. But I did think about getting a receiver in his place, but I didn't want to let him pass up. So
You took my advice.
but Javonte Williams.
I'm just saying.
Javonte Williams is the guy that, because I forget, I think it was Gibson and somebody else I was thinking about getting over Javonte, but I'm high on Javonte this year, just like Jerry is. And excuse me, Jerry likes the receiver quarterback combination. I like the running back quarterback combination.
No. You're sadly mistaken. I specifically told you that I like the quarterback tight end.
Oh, quarterback tight end. My bad. Quarterback tight end.
And the reason why, let me explain to you the reason why.
You sound mumbled.
Yeah, let me tell you the reason why. The reason why I like that combination is because most quarterbacks who have a very good tight end look for that tight end in the end zone.
Of course.
Yes. So that's why I like that quarterback, because the high probability that quarterback's going to be open in the end zone, and that tight end is going to be open in the end zone, and that quarterback's going to find him. That's why I like that.
No, I understand, and I get it. It's. I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just like having the two players on the offense that will touch the ball the most, and the quarterback and the running back, the main running back, I should say, are the two players that will touch the ball the most on offense. They're not dependent so much on somebody else doing something. The quarterbacks depending on. The running backs depend on the quarterback handing them the ball.
Oh my God. Let me ask you a question here, real quick. This is way off subject, but it's some tragic news. Do you follow NASCAR at all?
I do.
You heard of this guy, Bobby East?
Bobby East?
Yeah, Bobby East.
I have not.
NASCAR star Bobby East is stabbed to death at a California gas station.
Wow.
Yeah. Is that crazy?
You getting my dog upset. Stop acting like a dog yourself. Yeah.
Look.
Be quiet, sir. Be quiet, sir.
Your dog is upset
because he hears
when you look at him.
No, it's you.
No,
right.
He can't see me. He sees you.
He hear you.
And he
can hear you. He hears you. I told you. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. Stop. I don't want to hear Stud acting up. I'll let him come chop you. But anyway, that's tragic news.
That is crazy, man.
Life is crazy, bro.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me, man. Hey, every time my wife walks out the door, the last thing I tell her is be careful. Every day I tell her to be careful. Because this shit's it's crazy out there. People are nuts, man. You never know.
No, I got you. I feel you. Listen, just like a promising career goes up in flames because I'm talking about Ruggs. You're driving crazy on the streets of Vegas. You don't die, but somebody else dies.
What happened to Ruggs? Besides that, did he get some kind of a?
He got arrested and then he got cut.
Huh?
He got arrested and got cut.
Oh, I know he got cut, but I thought I saw.
He's about to face the charges now.
Okay. All right.
But that's what I mean. That we're talking about a NASCAR driver that tragically lost his life. Excuse me. At a gas station, probably over a dispute at the pump. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then you got somebody driving around 1,000 miles per hour because they got a fast vehicle and they got money and they got the access, killing someone, but then losing their everything and probably going to be in prison for vehicular homicide because he was intoxicated.
Mm-hmm.
So, everything's tragic. Everything is tragic, man. I'm not going to go too deep down this, but 77 minutes. Last night, CNN showed all 77 minutes of the Uvalde shooting in that elementary school. All 77 minutes.
Oh, come on, man.
They did. And what you see would make you say, F the police. At least those police officers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to tell you real quick, because we're talking about death here. There was an officer in there that had his wife text him while she was bleeding out in the room 50 feet away. And he did nothing. 50 feet away. They had heard gunshots continually and still didn't breach. They were in there talking and looking at their phones and stuff while stuff was going. Those 77 minutes, I hope all of them go to prison. Every last one of them, and lose all their pensions and their salaries, because those babies and those two teachers and that daggone cop that let his wife die, damn some orders. Damn some orders, man. I curse out people for less. I'm going in. Fire me later. Those officers of the law, whatever order they got, common sense says we've got the weaponry, we've got the armament. Go in there. We keep hearing him firing shots. We're getting text from these kids. We're getting calls from dispatch saying that they're getting calls from these kids. People are stupid. They just are. To kill a guy at a gas station, for what? Let these kids die because you're too afraid to go do your job. Let your wife die?
That they signed up for. That they signed up for. It wasn't like they were coerced. It wasn't coerced.
Today, if I had to go and put on my gear and go do what I do, that's part of my job. Being a broadcaster is a product of my job. But I've always been taught to do my job. And it's sad that this NASCAR driver had to die. It's sad those kids had to die because somebody was a coward or people were cowards.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad that that lady passed away because Henry Ruggs was stupid.
And the fact is this: you got people that are trying to prevent you from passing laws to prevent people like the one in that situation from getting guns and doing what they did.
Dude,
It makes no sense. And they hide behind the Second Amendment. Come on, man.
We got to take it back to football.
Yeah.
But that 77 minutes last night, CNN showed all 77 minutes. If you are not outraged after seeing that,
I don't even know how the gun lobby can spin that. I don't even know how they can spin that. Come on.
Well, it's not even the gun lobbyists. It's the police force. How can they justify not going in? But I digress. Let's move on. That was unfortunate what took place. But the draft of last night, and Jerry did not draft last night.
Yes, I did.
No, you did not.
Oh, yes, I did.
But here's what I'm going to offer Jerry right now, ladies and gentlemen. There's one more red versus blue. There's one more red versus blue. I challenge you to join that red versus blue. I'll join it, and we'll go head to head in that league with all the professionals that are in there. And I guarantee you I'll have a better draft than you, and I will beat you head to head.
So, send me the information. Send me the information.
Just go to Full-Time Fantasy. Just Google it, and then look up red. When you get to the site, go to the dashboard or whatever, and look for red versus blue number 3. Get in it. I dare you. I dare you. Because once you say, hey, I'm about to join, I'm going to jump on and join. And then I'm going to whoop your candy. Okay, so with that being the case, that was the first draft for me of the season. I've actually trimmed back on my leagues I'm going to do. JT is doing the same. He's trimming back on some of his. But just wanted to show you guys that how different settings can dictate a draft. And with that being the case, I thought I did exceptionally well. If you got to go, Jerry, go ahead.
Hold on.
So, with that being the case, ladies and gentlemen, mute stuff.
Are you on Blog Talk?
I should be on Blog Talk. Yes. Probably can't hear you. I'm on Blog Talk.
Yeah, because my sister's not hearing you.
She's not?
No.
Interesting. Well, I am on Blog Talk, and I am streaming live on Blog Talk. Let me pull up on my phone before we go any further. See, you can hear it, right? Let me go to. We're sorry about this confusion, ladies and gentlemen.
She can't hear it.
I just came in. I was trying to tell you.
Well, it says I'm on air, and let's hit play. Blog Talk Radio. It's loading the audio now. But point being, yeah. Interesting. It's going, but there's no audio. I'm not liking that, JT. I'm not liking that at all. My microphone's working. I don't know what's happening.
Okay, whatever.
But we'll check it out in the replay. We'll check it out in the replay. With that being the case, let's get to this breakdown. Let's get to the breakdown. We've got the NFC East and the AFC East. Which East would you like to begin with?
You pick it, man. Go right ahead.
Oh, you know what I'm listen. Long as you pull up the schedules, we should be G to G. I'm gonna start with the NFC East. NFC East. Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, Washington. Here's the thing. This division used to be the division in the NFL. It used to be. It no longer is. Mike McCarthy has taken over the Dallas Cowboys. I think is this year 3 for Mike McCarthy?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't see red versus blue here.
You should be able to see red versus blue. Just keep scrolling.
I scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. Don't see red versus blue.
Well, let me bring this up, then I'll pull it out. I'll pull it up myself. Unless they've already filled it. That's the only way it'll be off there if they already filled it. Mike McCarthy has taken the Dallas Cowboys and made them exciting, made them a winner, but they can't advance in the playoffs. Ron Rivera, he has the toughest job of all the coaches in the NFC East. He has a dysfunctional organization, and it's based upon the dysfunction of its owner and the trauma that its owner has caused upon the fans, as well as the organization and the NFL. The Eagles came out of nowhere last year, and their head coach talked about watering the grass, things of that nature, and they did. They did well. This offseason, the Eagles decided, you know what, Jalen, if I'm going to keep you as my quarterback, let me give you some tools. And they did. When they gave him the tools, let's see if he can cook like Russ. Let's see if he can cook like Russ. The Giants. The Giants have decided they are going to give Daniel Jones, I don't know who's that wants to come on. 7914, is that you or your sister? JT?
I dialed into Block Talk and I can't hear you.
So 7914 is you?
Yes.
Okay. And you said you can't hear it? You said you cannot hear it?
Nope.
Interesting. Okay. Well, for now, we're just going to roll with it and keep it going. The Giants, they go get Brian Daboll from Buffalo.
Okay.
Which is a good move because they have a lot of weapons in New York. New York did a decent draft as well. But is it going to be enough to bring them up from the bottom? Which one you want to talk about first, JT?
Hey man, it's the NFC East. I'm not a fan of the NFC East. So you can go any direction you want to go. So I could care less. You want to
Let's
go?
start with the New York Giants.
Okay.
New York Giants bring in Brian Daboll, who's supposed to be a offensive guru and QB whisperer, to work with Danny Dimes, who doesn't like being called Danny Dimes, by the way. Yeah, he doesn't like it.
Okay.
When you ask him to sign Danny Dimes on helmets, he says, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
So Danny Dimes, they pick up his 5th-year option and say, look, it's a prove-it year. We got you Galladay, Kadarius Toney, Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard. Tight end, we got rid of Ingram. They got rid of Rudolph. But who do they got at tight end? I don't know right now. Defense, they get Thibodeau. If he shows up, he's a force. But he has to show up every week. Every week. They also get a little help on the back end. I don't know what to tell you about the New York Giants, other than Brian Daboll can turn them around. I forgot Saquon, but Brian Daboll can turn them around if they all play their parts. They got a great offensive lineman out of the draft, but is that the only thing they're going to get or need to fix that offense? It's a big part, yes. But is it going to be the cure-all to fix that offense? JT, talk to me about the New York Football Giants.
New York Football Giants don't have a very good offensive line. They're probably going to be featuring the quarterback. They're probably going to be featuring the running back because the quarterback is shaky at best. And I've always said that you have to have a quarterback. Plain and simple. You have to have a quarterback. And this is probably the most important year for Daniel Jones in his career, whether it's college or right now professional. In his career, do they pick up his fifth-year option, or do they let him walk? And is he?
No, this is his fifth-year option. This is
they didn't pick it up. So are they going to give him a contract after this year, thinking they may have something with Brian Daboll as the head coach? Or do they go looking in a supposedly quarterback-heavy draft in 2023? So it's important. It's important that
so I'm sorry, I'm telling you that it's picking up sound from the dashboard, but it ain't picking up the speaker.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is this: I don't expect too much from the Giants. They may have a small amount of bright spots in this season, but for the most part, Brian Daboll's got his work cut out for him.
He's got to work some magic.
He's got to work a hell of a lot of magic, even for the Giants to be taken seriously. Let me put it that way.
Okay. Now, I will say this. They have the tools.
No, they don't.
Just listen. They have the tools to be successful, in my opinion. I like Saquon. I like, even though Shepard's coming off injury, torn ACL, he was Daniel Dimes's, or shouldn't call him Daniel Jones's go-to guy. Kadarius Toney, if he's not having a fit or acting stupid, that kid showed he could ball. Saquon needs offensive line, plain and simple. He needs offensive line. So does Danny Dimes or Daniel Jones. But it might work out there. The question for me is, will that defense show up? And I think it's going to be contingent upon old boy showing up every week. He's got to show up every week.
Well, let me put it this way.
Stop mumbling.
We talked about this. I talked about this before. If the defense doesn't see they got a good quarterback, they ain't going to. They say, what the hell? What's the sense? He's going to put us in harm's way, and he ain't the guy. He's not an inspiring type of quarterback that's going to bring out the absolute best in the defense. They're going to try hard for at least a half, and then it's a wrap if he don't show anything. That I'm being absolutely real. When you're a defensive person,
I'm not saying you're wrong.
When you're a defensive person and you see what your quarterback ain't doing, not what he's doing, but what he ain't doing, what am I out here for? That's exactly the mindset. What the hell am I out here for? Busting my ass. Plain and simple, man. That's defensive player 101.
I feel you, old man. I'm not saying you're wrong, but what I'm also saying is that I think Brian Daboll.
Think of something good now, because you're gonna get you're trying to pull it out of yourself.
I am.
Something good now.
Let me get it out.
Go ahead.
I think Brian Daboll can pull it out of them. Not in year one, though. But with that being the case, let's go over the schedule.
No problem. I already got what I'm thinking, but let's see what Mr. FSP is thinking here.
Please.
Of one of your division rivals. We'll see how unbiased he is. Talking about biased. At the Titans.
I don't like the Titans. No passing threat. I'm gonna give it to the Giants. You can make that. Here's what I heard. I heard that Austin Hooper and Tannehill are just having the best time of their lives connecting with each other. Right?
I can believe that because Tannehill loves going to the tight end.
Yes, I agree. However, that doesn't bode well for the outside receivers. That doesn't bode well for unstacking the box.
I have to differ with you because look at what they do running the football and throwing to the tight end in Baltimore.
Again,
I'm just saying.
No. I hear you, but Lamar Jackson's a running threat. Tannehill is not a running threat.
So is Danny. So is Derrick Henry. He's a running threat.
Okay, check it out. But he's not the quarterback. The difference is
doesn't have to be.
Well,
you're talking about stacking the box.
Exactly, you're stacking the box because in Baltimore, what's the running game? Dobbins, Edwards, and now Davis. Plus Lamar is a running threat. More of a running threat than those guys, actually. You cannot say that Daniel Jones can run, but we're talking about Tennessee being able to have that threat from the quarterback position, which I don't think they have. And if you don't have an outside threat,
okay. The Giants, just hear me out here. I hate to go
the game too.
I hate to go this route, but
I want to go to the game too.
I want to get this explanation out. You're telling me the Giants running a brand new offense on the road against the Tennessee Titans, who won a division last year, are going to win the game. That's what you're telling me. And that's what you're telling me.
That's what I said. That's what I said, isn't it?
Okay, no problem.
Go to week 2.
But
that's your opinion.
Well, that's real life, man.
Week two.
Home against the Panthers.
They're home against. Okay, as I said,
Baker Mayfield.
Come down from the high of beating Cleveland week 1, and they're going to lose week 2. So the Giants get that one.
The Giants win that or lose that?
Yes. I said the Giants get that one. They win.
So the Giants at the Titans and against the Panthers.
Are you going to take? Are you going
to be 2-0? I just want to get this straight before we move on.
I said the Giants are going to win.
Okay.
That game.
Home against the Cowboys.
Loss.
Home against the Bears.
Because I don't know what their offense is going to look like. I'll give it to the Giants. Giants 3-1.
You know you contradicted yourself. You don't know what the Bears' offense was going to look like. You don't know what the Giants' offense is going to look like.
Actually, I do, because I follow Buffalo, and I also know what weapons they have.
They can't do what Buffalo players can do.
Guy, you're right. They can run the ball. Let's move on. The Giants are 3-1. Keep going.
At the Packers.
Loss.
Home against the Ravens.
Loss.
At the Jaguars.
I think Jaguars going to beat them. I think the Jaguars are going to beat them.
So right now the Giants are 3-3.
They should be 3-4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you. 3-4. At the Seahawks.
Win. Well, you know what? It also depends on who the quarterback for Seattle is. If it's Geno, they win. If it's Garoppolo or they bring in somebody else that can get DK the ball, it might be an L, but I'm going to give the Giants a win knowing what we know now.
Geno can get DK the ball, but that's okay. Home against the Texans.
I like Davis Mills, but I don't like anything else in Houston. So I got to give it to the Giants.
Okay. Home against the Lions.
Loss. Lions win that.
I agree with that. At the Cowboys.
Cowboys sweep them.
Home against the Commanders.
Home. And this is week what? 12?
Well, it's late in the season.
Is week 12?
About that, yeah.
Giants win.
Okay. I agree with that. Home against the Eagles. Back-to-back division games.
I think the Eagles spank them. Eagles win.
Okay. At the Commanders.
Washington gets their revenge because they're at home.
Okay. At the Vikings.
Vikings.
Home against the Colts.
Colts.
And the last game of the season, at the Eagles.
Eagles sweep them. Only team they split with is Washington.
Who splits with Washington? Giants?
The Giants.
Okay.
The Giants only split with Washington.
So
everybody else sweeps them.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're going to give the Giants 7 wins.
7 and 10, yeah.
7 and 10. I got them 5-12.
I mean, that's not too far off.
Yeah. I got 5-12.
Say again.
I have them 5-12.
I mean, I got it. Not a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about right. I think that's about right. Because I think the turnaround is going to be a big turnaround. But 7 wins from what they had, 3 wins last year.
Yes.
That's double what they had. It shows progress in the quarterback, and they don't give up. But it all is predicated on what that defense brings week to week. But seeing, it's your saying. I'm going to use your saying against you. It's not who you play, it's when you play them.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
And I think the Giants.
And I don't think it makes a difference on when the Giants play whoever they play, because the fact is,
they're that bad.
Because they're that bad, and because I don't think that quarterback is a capable quarterback to get 7 wins. I don't. Regardless. You know who's behind Daniel Jones?
Actually, I don't.
Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, Tyrod would be a better option if he goes down.
Or his play dictates that he sits.
Well,
I mean, because they're going to give him every possible chance to succeed. Give him the tools. The players are in place, so he's just going to give him play calling and try to put him in the best situation and to succeed. If he can't come through, then it's the quarterback. And they're going to be looking for a quarterback 2023 draft.
Okay. I'm not saying you're wrong about that, but I think the 7-win progress is going to be enough for them to say, okay, we'll give you we'll franchise tag you, give you that money for 1 more year to see if you can go back-to-back improvement and still draft a quarterback to be his eventual replacement. I can see that happening.
I can see if they get 7 wins, I can almost guarantee you that defense is going to pull the wins out.
Well, didn't I say? Oh my God. Okay.
Well, what I'm saying, wait a minute. But
I mean, I thought I said that.
There's a different. I understand what you're saying, but understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this: professional coaches can see if the quarterback is worth bringing back, even though they won 7 games and showed improvement from last year to this year. Is the defense more responsible for pulling out games, or is that quarterback? Because sooner or later in a game, you're going to have to rely on a quarterback to make several plays throughout the season. Is he the type of quarterback to do that, or does it rely more heavily on the defense?
I agree with you. Excuse me, but I think he is more of a. Had he not tripped up over himself in that Eagles game, he showed that he has the ability to lead the team to a possible victory. And that was a terrible team. He threw a lot of passes that were on the money, and there were touchdowns. He has it. Is he a top-tier quarterback? No. But I believe working with Brian Daboll, he'll have his opportunity to shine at least one more year. Let's move on to the next team. Let's talk about
Dallas Cowboys.
Nah, I ain't gonna
Oh,
do
you
that.
want to talk about the Eagles? No problem. I can go either way. You want to talk about the Eagles, or you want to talk about your team?
We're gonna talk about the Washington Commanders.
Okay.
First of all, I already said it, so I'm not gonna back off of it. They're gonna lose to Jacksonville, week 1. I already said that a couple weeks ago. Well, when we did the AFC South, I already said that, so I'm not gonna back off of that.
Okay.
But let's break down Washington.
They're at the Lions next week.
Wait a minute. Let me break them down first.
Okay.
All right. So Washington goes out and they go down in the draft. They have the player that everybody thinks they're going to get and everybody wants them to get, so they can have that speed on the outside. Ron Rivera and company, or Martin Mayhew, I should say, because Martin Mayhew is the general manager, says, you know what? We got speed. Curtis Samuel's here. But that's if Curtis Samuels can play all year.
Healthy.
And availability is the best ability. So instead of that, or getting the
This is getting tough.
best safety or the best linebacker in the draft, because both of those players were still there, they drop back 6 spaces and watch all the top receivers literally get drafted. Literally get drafted. All of them. They come back up and they get Hod Dotson. Now, listen, I'm impressed with this kid because he has hands. And he's got a little quickness, but he's not fast. And he's a fighter. But the problem is Carson Wentz struggles with short receivers. All the reports are that Carson has this big arm. That is great. He does. No one ever questioned his arm strength. People have questioned his thought process, his decision-making process, his ability to lead has been what's questioned. Now, Torrey Smith, former Eagle, said when he played with Carson, he was a very good leader. The narrative that's been put out is not that of him. Yes, he's very religious, and he does bring that to the locker room. But the problem, and I'm not saying religion is a problem, but when you have folks in that locker room that aren't religious or don't believe as you believe, and you force it down their throats, that's how you continually make them non-believers. And that's just not in the sports world, that's in real world.
Mm-hmm.
The more you try to force something down somebody's throat, the less they like it. So that was the knock on Carson and his belief that pretty much soured him in Indianapolis. It wasn't that he had a bad season. He had a bad 2 games to end the season.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that it was the back and the fact that he did not get vaccinated, so he could not play for 1 or 2 games, which made the owner irate enough to want to get rid of him. Coupled with the bad 2 games in the season, where they could have won the AFC South,
which was winnable.
So you give up 2 third-round picks and a conditional 4th or 5th round pick for Carson Wentz, and you take on his full salary. Meanwhile, a week later, Indianapolis pretty much gets Matt Ryan for free.
Yep.
Because Atlanta eats his entire salary and only gives up 1 third-round pick. To me, especially if I know I'm only going to have this quarterback for 2 or 3 years, Matt Ryan is the better option. Cerebral, been to the Super Bowl. I know Carson won enough games to take the Super Bowl, but Nick Foles won all the playoff games and the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a guy that plays from the head up, that knows how to place the ball and use the entire field. I didn't think it was a good move to let Matt Ryan, if you just waited, and nobody, the thing is, Carson Wentz was going to get cut in a couple days. But you didn't think you would be able to sign him? Nobody else was going to sign him to be a starter. So anyway, they do that. They get back Chase Young,
Right.
Montez Sweat.
Mm-hmm.
They re-sign their defensive tackles. They let Landon Collins go, who wasn't the best safety, but he played a very good jackal position, which was down in the box a lot.
Yeah, he's in a box safety. He's not a cover safety.
And that's the thing. When he had to cover somebody, he was exposed.
Yep.
You re-sign McCain, who's an okay safety, but the market is what the market is. You bring back the pretty much core, but you let Ryan Sheriff go out the door. He was going to go regardless. He didn't want to be there no more. You pretty much make a trade with Jacksonville to get their starting right guard for your right guard. Whatever. You let go of the starting left guard. You bring in somebody else.
You're having a hard time here. I can see that, but that's okay. That's all right.
Yeah, it's my team. But I got to be truthful.
Mm-hmm.
With all the things that are going on with the organization, I don't think the team has the character to do what the Raiders did last year.
What's that?
Win and make the playoffs. Their head coach he resigns. They lose their top receiver because of the vehicular killing. The team is in array. I mean, just a mess. But Derek Carr finds a way to galvanize that team, put them on his shoulders, and win. And make the playoffs for the first time in a very long time. I don't think Washington has that leader in their locker room. I don't. Carson Wentz is not that type of guy. Listen, both Carson and Derek are heavily religious folks. Difference is, I see Derek being more amicable to the players and not being ostracized by the players.
Mm-hmm. I agree about that.
So Derek Carr is the leader of the Raiders.
Yep.
Carson Wentz was brought in to be the leader, but his play has to dictate that. And right now, I don't know where he stands in that locker room. I'm not there. But from an outsider looking in, it's going to be tough, especially I know that first game versus Philly is in Washington, but when he has to go to Philly and he has to go to Indianapolis and he's facing his former head coach and the last team to beat him last year in the first game of the season, his mental is going to be tested.
I told when the issues were happening in Philly, I had expressed to you I think he had a weak mind. He said that I think he had a weak mind because he felt threatened and he wanted out. He felt threatened and wanted out, and instead of competing for the job and then having to deal with, well, I gave him my best and this is the guy that they want, and stay there and then just wait it out. He immediately said, I want out. I want out. I didn't want to compete. He just wanted the job given to him. Didn't want to compete. And I said he has a weak mind. If you look back to the shows when that was going on, that's one of the things I said. That's one of the things I saw. He's a weak-minded quarterback. And he went to Indianapolis with his mentor, where he supposedly would have success with an ideal team that had a top defense and offensive weapons, including one of the top backs in the NFL. And what he do? Excuse my language, but the last two games he shit the bed.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I think they opened the season 0-1. Let's go ahead and go down this list, man.
Okay. Home against the Jaguars.
Unfortunately, that's an L.
At the Lions.
W.
Home against the Eagles.
Home against the Eagles. Emotional game. And believe it or not, I think it's going to come down to Jalen. Jalen Hurts. And he's going to dog walk him. I think the Eagles win.
They're going to win?
I said I think the Eagles win.
Oh, okay. At the Cowboys.
L.
Home against the Titans.
W.
You don't like the Titans, man. That's all right.
No, I don't.
I can see that. At the Bears.
W.
Home against the Packers.
Surprise, W.
You are so biased.
Hey, go down the list.
You are so biased. Oh, my God.
How am I biased? Oh, my God. Go.
Home against the Packers. Come on, man.
I said W.
Stop.
I got enough to stop him.
Hold on.
If Taylor Heineke can go to Green Bay, and we should have won that game, I'm quite sure we'll win that game at home. Keep going.
Home against the Packers, you give them a W.
Yes.
Come on. At the Colts.
That's an L because he's going to go into that stadium and they're going to boo the hell out of him.
Home against the Vikings.
Ooh. Kirk returns. Vikings win.
At the Eagles.
they'll win that game because Carson's going to have a big chip on his shoulder to prove Philly wrong.
At the Texans.
W.
Texans, but that's okay. Home against the Falcons.
W.
God. At the Giants.
I said they're going to split with them, so they lose that one because it's at the Giants, right?
Okay.
It's at the Giants?
At the Giants.
Yeah, they lose that one.
I think they have a bye because the next game is against the Giants.
Okay, and it's at home, so they win that one.
Okay, at the 49ers.
Tough game. If it's Trey Lance, we get the W. I'm going to say the W.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable. You're such a homer, man. Jesus Christ.
First of all,
home against the Browns. Next to last
you already know. You already know what I'm going to say.
Yeah, you're going to say they're going to win. That ain't happening.
California.
That ain't, if Deshaun is there, that ain't happening.
Deshaun ain't going to be there. Keep going.
You're going to say a win, huh?
I am. We're going to be live talking to each other during that.
You and Robert Turbin are full of it. You know that, right? And let me tell you.
Keep going. We're not finished. Robert Turbin.
Home against the Cowboys.
Win. They close out the season with a W.
You ain't winning that, buddy. You ain't winning that.
Yes, because that was already wrapped up the division or a playoff spot. And we're trying to get a better draft position. I don't know why you're looking like you need some.
I'm looking like what the hell is he thinking of, Lord?
What is the record? Or is that the last game?
I'm going to give you my record first.
Wait a minute, because you didn't give me the last Giants game because they end the season with the Giants. They beat the Giants.
The last game of the season is against the Cowboys.
Okay. I thought you only gave me. Oh, yeah, we did. They went back to back with the Giants.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I gave them like 9 and 8 or something like that. Is that what I gave them?
10 and 7. Come on, man. 10 and 7.
10 and 7 might not happen, but I believe 9 and 8 will.
Come on, man.
9 and 8. 9 and 8. 10, yeah. I can definitely see a 9 and 8. 10 and 7.
You know what? They're a Washington team. And this guy was a famous name in Washington. His name was Benjamin Franklin. And if they have
Taylor.
Wait a minute now.
I don't have
Wait a minute. Now you're saying they're going to be 9 and 8. I'm saying they're going to be 6 and 11.
What?
6 and 11.
They're not going to be 6 and 11.
And Mr. Benjamin says they're going to have a losing record.
So, Mr. Benjamin, I want you to understand something. I'm not going to bet on winning and losing records because I think.
Come on.
But what I will say is this.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I told
6
you.
wins.
I told you his quarterback was
listen. Listen.
And
if you want to make
it weak, this is
Jerry. If you want to talk about Benjamins, then we'll do
Don't even try to deflect.
I'm not going to deflect. I'm not deflecting. What I'm
deflecting.
saying is, you said 6 and 10. So what I'm going to say is,
I'm saying
6. Wait a minute. Let me get it out. 6 and 10 is a win for you. 7 is a push.
No. Don't
8
like
is
I
a
said,
win for me.
They won't have a winning record. You're telling me this that they're going to have a winning record because you said 10 and 7.
9 and 7 is a winning record.
Wait a minute. You said 10 and 7.
And I said 9.
Wait a minute. And 9 and 8. And 9 and 8
is a winning record. Yes.
9 and 8 is a winning record.
Yes.
I'm saying they're not going to have a winning record.
Listen.
Plain and simple. It's basic stuff here.
Okay, well, and I'm trying to make it so that it's fair across the board.
No.
Right
you're trying to make it so Vic has an advantage.
No.
It ain't going to happen.
No, I know it's not going to happen because
all right, let's go to the next team. Either the Eagles
this is
or we're going to the Dallas Cowboys. You're going to go next. Because
Sorry.
I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to listen to you, bro.
Then
I'm
don't
not listening to you,
Don't
bro.
talk. Don't listen. Take
Okay,
the headphones off.
the Philadelphia Eagles at the
Excuse me.
line.
Excuse me.
Here we go. Give
I'm
me
not-
your assessment of your favorite, one of your favorite
I'm going
teams.
to.
The
No,
Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm not finished talking. I'm not finished talking. So here's the deal. Since
I'm
you
not-
brought it up, yeah, you don't have to listen. That's fine. Here's what you're going to do, though. Since you brought it up, I offer you your 6-10 as a win, 7 as a push, 8 is a win for me. I'm not going to go with winning record or losing record because anything can happen. Anything can happen. But if you're so confident that they're that bad, that they're only going to get 6 wins, and I'm giving you an
This is
extra
your team. I'm not even listening to what you have to say. This is your team. Do you have any faith in your team? Then are they going to have a winning record or not? Are they going to have a winning record or not? That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line.
I'm going to
You
bet
have no faith in your team.
Hey,
You
the only way
have
I'm going
no
to
faith
bet
in your
you,
team.
the only way I'm
That's
going
weak.
to bet is
That's
if you
very
go
weak.
with my
That's
thought process.
very weak.
Now, with that being the case,
Ladies and gentlemen, you see,
I'm going to mute you right now because JT
go right ahead. I could care less.
is going to continue rambling as I try to move on with the show.
You're rambling. You're
Let's
rambling.
keep going. As I said, if JT wants to make a bet with me, I'm gonna look in the camera and say this. If JT wants to make a bet with me on my team, because he didn't want to make a bet against when I said head up. I told him this when we were going over the AFC North. That if he wants to bet for Cleveland versus Washington, we could go that head up. He didn't want to do it. However, I'm saying if he wants to bet me with the Washington Commanders schedule, he will go with his 6-11 record because he has to go 6-11, not 6-10. And I'm giving him a game by saying, hey, look, 7 is a push. Nobody wins. I think that's fair. Seeing as though he does not think that's fair, it's no bet to be made. No bet to be made. Now, I'm going to bring up the next team. We're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys because the Dallas Cowboys, in my opinion, have the they have an opportunity to fail. And what do I mean by fail? The expectation is that Dallas is going to come back in. Last year, they were 12-5. They're not going to be 12-5 this year. I'm not saying because Amari Cooper went away. I'm not saying because Randy Gregory went away. I'm saying it because they have a first place schedule. They're going to be victims of the schedule. And Mike McCarthy, listen, you're going to keep Pollard and Zeke on the field at the same time. That's outstanding. Pollard's going to be in the slot sometimes, catching screens and things of that nature. I think that's a good move. But at some point, because Pollard also returns kicks, at some point, Washington is going to have to show up. The guy that left Pittsburgh to join the Cowboys. This young kid, Jalen Tolbert, is going to have to show up while Michael Gallup isn't ready. You're having problems with Dalton Schultz, your best tight end. He don't want to be franchised. You can't franchise him. He's not there. There's problems in Big D. Big problems. And with an owner that can't wait to get Sean Payton in the window or in the house, he might let the ship go down just so he can blame it on Mike McCarthy and say he did not meet expectations of the Dallas Cowboys. On paper, Dallas is probably the best team in the NFC East. But that's on paper. This isn't paper football. This is actual football. JT, what are your thoughts on your Dallas Cowboys?
Dallas Cowboys are more than likely have the best talent in the NFC East, and Dak Prescott probably going to throw for close to maybe 5,000 yards. But they're going to be running the football. I think Mike McCarthy is finally convinced that we got to run the football with Zeke and Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I called him Marcus Pollard. I apologize. I meant Tony Pollard.
Yeah, Tony Pollard. Don't worry about it. I'll get the names right. Anyway, Mike McCarthy pretty much knows that his job is on the line. He's got to get the Dallas Cowboys to the playoffs and at least win a playoff game. At least win a playoff game. And not struggle to win a playoff game and get out coached. I've never been a big proponent of Mike McCarthy. I thought this was not a match made in heaven. I expressed that when he got hired. And the last 2 seasons, he's been convinced that we can pass the ball to win games versus running as much as he should. He's got a bell cow running back, and he also has a very good backup running back that can also run the football besides catching it. But I think he has to run the football more. He has to. They retooled that defense, and that defense is treacherous. Treacherous.
It is.
And to keep the defense fresh and in the game, you got to run the football to keep them off the field and fresh. You start passing the football, that gives more opportunities for the opposing offense. And where's your defense out?
It does.
So you got to run the football. Now, will he change his spots? Because he hasn't in the last few years since he's been with Dallas. But I think he realizes I got to put up or shut up. And otherwise, Sean Payton is going to be walking in the door and I'll be walking out.
Well, with that being said, and you bring up a point, win the playoff game and win it convincingly. They let one player beat them in the playoffs last year, Deebo Samuels. Deebo beat him. If you look at the game, it was Deebo. The defense couldn't stop him. Diggs, he got exposed. He got beat. Diggs gets beat on double moves. That's the formula. Double move his ass, and the safety not going to be able to help him. And if the safety does come over, the dude coming across the field, whoever the other receiver is or the tight end is going to be right there wide open. Yeah. So it's like, I agree with you. Let me go with that point. I agree with you. But I also think the schedule is going to be the undoing of the Cowboys. So let's go over the schedule.
Home against the Bucks.
Loss.
Home against the Bengals.
Loss.
At the Giants.
Win.
At the Commanders. I mean, home against the Commanders. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a win because I said they're going to lose when they go to Washington.
At the Rams.
Loss. Hold on. They're 1-4 at this point. Correct?
No, they're 2-2.
I didn't give them 2 wins.
You give them win against the Giants and win against the Commanders.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
All right. They're 2-2. At the Rams.
Loss.
At the Eagles.
Loss.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let me see. Hold on. Loss. Win. Loss. Home against the Lions.
Win.
Home against the Bears.
Win.
At the Packers.
At the Packers. Loss. It's the difference going to Green Bay.
At the Vikings.
Loss.
Home against the Giants.
Win.
Home against the Colts.
Loss.
Oh, okay.
I think that's a Thanksgiving game, isn't it? That's a Thanksgiving game?
It probably is, yeah. I'm not sure. Home against the Texans.
Win. And let me go back to that the Colts game. Dan Quinn knows Matt Ryan, but Matt Ryan knows Dan Quinn. Remember that.
I understand. At the Jags.
Loss. Jags are going to surprise them. I'm telling you, Jags. Jags only getting like 6 or 7 wins, but it's going to be some surprise wins.
Home against the Eagles.
Hold on. This is after Thanksgiving. Jags going to be beat up. I take that back. It's the Cowboys.
Okay. Home against the Eagles.
They win. They're going to split.
At the Titans.
At Tennessee. Late in the season. Ooh. Hopefully Derrick Henry's not hurt, because that's going to be a big dude to take down. I'm going to give that to Tennessee.
Okay. Last game of the season at the Commanders.
They lose that.
They win that, right?
I said they lose that.
You tell me the Commanders going to sweep them.
I told you Cowboys beat them the first game.
Okay. All right. Hold on. All right. You gave them
I think I gave them like 11 and 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 and 9?
Nah, I thought I gave them 11 and 6.
No. I gave him 12 and 5. You gave him 8 and 9.
It should have been 11 and 6, but did you change the Jacksonville pick?
Jacksonville pick, where is it at? To W. Yep.
Well, I'll be wrong on that, because I think they'll be 11 and 6.
Okay.
I think they'll be 11 and 6.
All right.
All right, let's go to the Eagles. I think the Eagles are actually going to win the division. I like everything they did in the draft. Everything. They went and got a bunch of Georgia players on the front line and then in the middle. I don't care how short that kid is. That dude's a baller. I love the fact they got A.J. Brown to pair with Devontae, along with Quez Watkins. I love their stable of running backs with Miles Sanders and company. One of the best offensive lines in football. I honestly think the only way the Eagles don't win a division is if Jalen just doesn't come through in a couple games. He is a phenomenal quarterback with weapons now. I'm not saying the Slim Reaper wasn't a weapon, but when you got a running back playing wide receiver and can body the ball and doesn't get hurt often, and you got a nice tight end and Dallas Goedert, it's a lot to be hopeful for in Philly. A lot. I wish my man Stephen Miller was here. He like, yeah, we got this, we got that, and yeah, we gonna win. Yeah. That would be optimal. But I think Philly's going to go to the playoffs and probably win a playoff game. What you think, JT?
I have them at 12 and 5.
Well, let's not go over the record. I say, what do you have on them? Like, what do you think about them?
You talking about the Eagles?
Yeah.
Oh, the Eagles. I don't know, man. They're an enigma. I haven't come told. We did the Eagles already. I know we didn't.
No, we did not do the Eagles.
They're an enigma, man. It all depends on whether Jalen Hurts can play effective football and passing the ball. That's the whole key. That's the whole key. If he can use his weapons and be effective in running the offense, besides running the football, he's got to be able to pass to get to A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. He can get it to Dallas. Got it. That's a short throw right in the middle of the field. So All depends on the quarterback, man, with how effective he's going to be. Plain and simple.
I think you just repeated what I said, but it's okay. So,
well, if I just repeated, you just asked my opinion, so I'm reiterating what you just said.
all right, let's go over this daggone schedule. Let's go.
Okay, fire away. At the Lions.
W.
Home against the Vikings.
Woo! Surprise, W.
Kirk Cousins knows the Eagles, but that's okay.
He knew the Eagles before they added all these weapons. Keep going. Like I said,
they still have the same philosophy, regardless. Okay, at the Commanders. At the Commanders.
W.
Ooh, okay. Home against the Jags.
W.
At the Cardinals.
Ooh, that's an L. Going to Arizona, yeah, that's an L.
Home against the Cowboys.
W.
Home against the Steelers.
W.
At the Texans.
W.
Home against the Commanders.
That's the L because I said Carson comes back and beats him.
Okay. At the Colts.
Tough game. It's in Indianapolis though, so I'm gonna give it to Indy.
Home against the Packers.
Eagles.
Really? Okay, you give me a win. Home against the Titans.
AJ's gonna want to show off. I'm gonna give it to the Eagles.
Home against the Giants.
Oh yeah, Eagles.
Hold on. At the Bears.
W.
At the Cowboys.
They split with the Cowboys, so it's an L.
Home against the Saints.
It's home against the Saints. That's a W. If they win New Orleans, I think differently though.
Home against the Giants.
They sweep the Giants. I think I made them 13-4.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Dude, I'm loving the Eagles this year.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13-4.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
And what do you give them?
I gave him 8-9. 8-9.
You're disrespectful.
No, I'm giving you my honest opinion.
Yeah, you're disrespectful. All right. Well,
my honest opinion.
With that being said,
that's how I feel.
With that being said, oh my God.
It all depends on the quarterback, man. It all depends. I can't. This is one team. I mean, and right off the top of my head, I can't think of another team that is relies so heavily on quarterback play.
No, they don't.
No, this is a team that relies heavily on quarterback play.
This team relies heavily on their run game.
Like I said, sooner or later.
Okay, I can agree with that.
The quarterback has to make plays to win games. Is he that type of quarterback? That's quarterback play.
But sooner or later, not they're heavily dependent on. Because if they're heavily dependent on, he would have been doing that beforehand. Last year they got in the playoffs, not because of his quarterback play, but the overall play of the team. This year, the run game has got to be strong. The defense has got to step up a little bit more. And now he has to hit those outside receivers. He's got to get those yards. Last year, he was running around. He made some plays with his legs. He looked really good. Jalen is actually a very good pocket quarterback.
He's not accurate. Hasn't shown he's accurate enough to be he may be in a pocket and run at a last resort, which is fine. But once he's in a pocket trying to push the ball down the field, he's got to be able to put the ball where it needs to be. And he hasn't shown that yet.
Okay, that's fine. I can feel that. I can feel that. But with that being the case, I still think they go 13-4 and possibly have the best record in the NFC. All right, let's move on over to the AFC East. Jerry's favorite team, the Jets. Now, recently, Mr. Wilson has been in the news. Mr. Wilson, his best friend, who happens to be a Washington Commanders wide receiver, has started dating his ex-girlfriend. So his ex-girlfriend's mom happens to be best friends with his mom.
What's his name?
His best friend. Yeah, his best friend's mom has to be best friends of his mom. Well, Mr. Wilson decided, I don't know if he decided, if he planned it, whatever. He was caught with his best friend's mom. Yeah. And the word is it was a retribution thing. So Mr. Wilson has so much street credit right now, it is ridiculous that Stifler's mom, if you remember American Pie, this is a Stifler's mom situation. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And you live right there. Ridiculous.
I don't pay. That's how much I pay attention to that team. I could care less.
Well, that's news. That has nothing. Well, it has something to do with the Jets, but it's news. So,
Could care less.
Mr. Wilson has got the respect of his locker room because he
smashed
his best friend's mom. Wow.
Wow.
Not to mention that this team had an awesome draft. Awesome draft. And I love the talent they got. Listen, Sauce, plus Jermaine Johnson, plus I forgot the offensive lineman they got. They got four first rounders. 4 first rounders. And they're all going to have an
90
impact.
seconds.
All of them. It's ridiculous. And the Jets, they don't have a tough schedule. They don't have a tough schedule. If old man Wilson does what he did this summer during the regular season and surprises some people, he won't surprise me. I actually think Wilson is a player that you might want to get on the cheap. I really think so. I think even though Jameson Crowder is gone, Elijah Moore and the rest of those jokers over there, whoo, they went and got the best running back in the draft. They already had a good running back. They already started rebuilding that offensive line. The defense came on towards the end of the season. And you add Sauce Gardner and Johnson on that defense. Ooh,
10 seconds.
it's going to be something special. It's going to be something special. Now, JT, do not show your bias against this team, because we know at one point you love this team. And you probably still do. You just don't want to show it. You probably got a Jets shirt on right now, because I see it's black. I see some green somewhere. It might be green around the field. There's some green somewhere.
I got all black on, so I could care less.
All right. What do you think about your Jets? Let's Jerry.
They got some good pieces, but this has always been for the longest a dysfunctional organization. They got a new head coach and it seems like the general manager has taken his head out the proverbial anus of the organization and drafted some decent players.
Oh my God!
So I'm gonna wait and see. I don't.
But what do you think of the assessment? Isn't a wait and see. It's okay. Tell me what you think about the team.
Well, the team's got decent parts, but what did you say before? It's on paper, and they don't play the games on paper. So until I see the quarterback, and it's a key season for the quarterback, tell you the truth. Then even though it's his second year, it's a key season for him. So with all these parts given to him, he's got to put up or shut up, plain and simple. And the beginning of the season doesn't bode well for him. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Now, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say the Jets don't need to have a winning record to show vast improvement. I think if they double up or come close to doubling up their win totals from last year, they will have a successful season. That's what I think. With that being said, let's go down this list.
Okay. Home against the Ravens.
That's an L.
Okay. At the Browns.
It's going to be a really good game. But I think even with Jacoby Brissett, the Browns win that game. Close.
Home against the Bengals.
They lose that game too.
At the Steelers.
This is the one that they got a chance to win. I think the defense of now Tony come in. Now Tony late as hell. We already did the NFC East. Jesus. But with the Jets having to compete, I think it's going to be an L. But I don't think it's going to be a big L.
Home against the Dolphins.
If that San Francisco West Coast offense is functioning well in Miami, I don't think Sauce has the speed to stay with Tyreek. And I don't think the linebackers are ready to keep getting the pounding. So I'm going to give it to Miami.
So that's 5 L's and 5 losses in a row.
Yeah.
And it don't get any better than that.
I know it doesn't, but keep going.
At the Pack. Yeah.
As I said, I don't consider them having a winning record to be a success this year. It's an L. It's an L.
At the Broncos.
That's an L.
So right now they're 0-7.
Okay, they're 0-7. I got it. Keep going.
Home against the Patriots.
Surprise, surprise. That's a W.
Okay, they get a W there. Home against the Bills. It don't get any better, man.
I know it doesn't.
I'm
but
looking at this. It ain't pretty.
let's keep going. You know it's an L.
Okay. At the Patriots.
They're gonna sweep the Patriots.
They're gonna sweep the Patriots?
Yep.
I don't believe that, but okay.
I don't care what you believe. I'm just telling you.
Home against the Bears.
W.
At the Vikings.
Listen to me. The Vikings are going to be overconfident in that game. And the Jets are going to win on a field goal at the end.
So you can. Oh my God, you're so wrong about that.
I'm not, dude. Just keep going.
At the Bills.
They lose.
Okay. Home against the Lions.
That's a win.
Home against the Jaguars.
Really good game. Really good game, but it's in New York, New Jersey. Tony jumped off. I was going to let him on, but he jumped off.
At the Seahawks.
I'm giving it to the Jets. I'm giving it to the Jets to beat the
I
Jets.
know that. At the Seahawks.
W.
They're going to win in Seattle.
Yeah.
At the Dolphins, last game of the season.
They'll win. They'll split. Tony, let me know when you want me to bring you on. I see you moving around.
5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 9.
Yeah. It's not a winning record, but it's better than what they were.
I gave them 7 and 10.
So we were both close. And that's better than what they were last year. That was the point.
That's true. That's true. Okay. Okay.
All right, Tony, if you're ready for me to bring you on, let me know. I see you making some type of cognac or some type of daggone drink. I don't know what you're doing. Hello. Even though you're a Cowboy fan, you know I don't like no Cowboys. We're going to bring Tony on if he doesn't mind. There you go, Tony. Are you free or you want me to just go ahead and put you back in the back room? I
think you said I'm free.
I cannot hear you, brother. Say something again. I can't hear you. We can hear all the movement, but we can't hear you. I don't know if your earbud is out or what.
All right, can you hear me now?
Oh, that's the earbud we needed in. That's the earbud we needed in.
What's up, T?
What's going on, fellas?
All right.
So you missed. So here's the deal, and because I know you're getting ready for your son and all that other stuff, and I know what you came on to talk about. So I'm gonna go straight to it. We already did it. I gave him 9 and 8.
No, you didn't. No, don't even go there.
I said 9 and 8 or 10 and 7.
10 and 7.
Okay, 9 and 8, 10 and 7. Jerry gave him 6 and 11.
That sounds about right.
I don't like. You know what, T? You get hung up on. You get hung up on. We're on the AFC East right now. Whatever.
He's my man because he keeps it real just like I do. I don't sugarcoat it, man. I don't sugarcoat it.
You can't think that Carson Wentz is going to get him 10 wins.
Come on, man.
On the show I said 10, but I said he's probably going to get more like 9.
I said they won't have a winning record. That's what I'm saying. I said they will not have a winning record, and Mr. FSP says they will. What's up, my man?
You said hi? They're saying hi to you.
What's up, my man?
And good luck to you today.
Oh, no, we're just going to the pool. He wanted to go swimming today, so.
Okay. No problem.
So I'll let you give your thoughts, and then I'll let you take care of the family because the wife didn't look too happy. She was like, get off that damn show, Tony. Spend some time with your family. I get that all the time. So I'll let you give your thoughts real quick so you can go ahead and
So give us your thoughts on the Washington Commanders season this year.
Yeah, it's going to come down to if the Dotson kid,
I think you connected to your car. I think you connected to your car. Yeah, you connected to your car.
there we go.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm back.
But first of all, let me ask you a question. What's your thoughts on the kind of year Terry McLaurin's going to have, and then the team as a whole?
I think Lord, not necessarily him learning a new offense, but with Carson Wentz trying to learn a new offense, and he just got paid. I see his numbers declining this year because again, he's the only weapon for the most part. So most people be able to double team him. And
First of all, JT, he froze up on that. Second of all,
let me put
your
it
numbers.
this way. This is
He
what
said
I
if Dotson.
told you.
He said depends on Dotson.
I told
If
you.
Dotson, I don't care what you said.
Yeah,
He
okay.
said if
Okay.
Dotson.
I know you don't care what I
shows
said
up. He
because
said if Dotson shows up.
I have someone that you know, not who I know. I know him now, but someone
Tony's
you
a
know.
hater.
Wait a minute.
He's
I
a
know-
self-hater.
Wait a minute. I have someone that you know that you trust his opinion, and you don't like it, so he's a hater.
Well, he's a hater from the Himalayas.
He tell you the truth. You got it from two sources, myself and Tony, telling you the same, almost the same exact thing.
Listen.
Come on, man.
He said that depending on Dotson will determine how McLaurin does.
But he also said McLaurin's going to get double teamed and his numbers are going to get
Again,
declined.
if Dotson performs or Curtis Samuels performs, then he won't get that double team as often.
Brother,
and even he's beaten double teams.
Brother.
Okay.
Brother.
Okay. Let Tony drive.
You don't listen, brother. You don't.
Tony can't even talk right now. His phone all jacked up. He going through the plus.
He's laughing at us because what I'm telling you is the truth, and I'm doing the Tom Cruise. I'm doing Few Good Men. You can't handle the truth.
I'm about to handle you.
You can't handle the truth.
All right, so Tony. All right. So Tony, here's what I'm gonna say. Because I know you got the kids, or you got your child and the wife and all that headed to the pool, and we won't be too much of a distraction. You're a hater.
Oh,
I love you.
You know, I told you this before.
But
every time somebody
you gotta stop the self.
disagrees,
You gotta try some self-love.
every time somebody
I married a
disagrees,
Cowboy fan as well.
What you
But
talking
mine
about?
converted. She loved me, not the team. You've been brainwashed. And Daniel Snyder has hurt you. He hurt me too. But I look past Daniel Snyder's hurt.
Every time someone disagrees with your thought, they're either biased or a hater. And I'm only telling you, just like Tony, the truth.
I don't want to hear y'all's truth.
Again, the truth hurts. That's the problem.
It does. But it's okay though. It's
Like
okay.
said, and like I was getting ready to say, you and I both know Samuels ain't gonna do nothing in that offense.
I agree.
So
That's why I'm like, De'Ami Brown is going to show up one way or the other.
I mean, if one of those, if the number 3 and number 4 receivers show up, it could help. But ultimately, I don't see that offense any better than 7 and 10 at best.
Oh,
6 and 11.
That's exactly. I mean, that's almost what I said. I said 6 and 11. Vic said 10 and 7.
Yeah, 6 and 11.
I
7,
said
10.
9 and 8, but I ended up giving them a 10 and 7.
Yeah. So you have them on a winning record.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they get there. I don't. I have no faith. I have no faith in Carson Wentz.
Yes, right.
None.
Okay. I don't care. Hey T, go ahead and take care of your family. I know that's all you want to talk about anyway.
Are you trying to get rid of him?
But I'm
trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. Look, they not even gonna have a winning record in the division.
Oh,
Take 2 losses to the Cowboys, 2 to the Eagles, and just because split with the Giants.
wow.
So,
It was nice seeing you,
because I
T.
mean, the Eagles are a lot better. You got to know
They
the
are.
Eagles are a lot better. The Cowboys are the
I gave
Cowboys.
the Eagles
Again,
13.
the watch.
I gave the Eagles 13-4. Jerry gave them 9-8, which is terrible, but
I can see them somewhere between 9 and 10 wins. Because again, something tells me early on they're not gonna figure it out, but they're gonna play up to the level of competition later on in the season and figure it out towards the end as they fight for one of those last playoff spots.
well,
So
I can't wait till the season starts so I can tell you both. Shove it!
Listen to that man down there. Listen to him.
you
Listen to him.
I would say by the end of September, you're gonna be wishing Washington didn't even field the team.
Damn, Tony. You play fantasy football?
Hey, look. Yeah, I play fantasy football, and I make it a goal of mine never to pick anybody from Washington because that'll just ruin your team.
Listen, we play for a little
But
bit of scratch. We play for a little bit of scratch.
I will let you.
If you
I
want
will
to
let
get
you
in,
feel better and let you know I don't draft any Cowboys either. So
I feel you on that. But if you want to play for a little bit of scratch, holler at me. I'll make a space for you so you can come draft with us.
how much you talking?
Well,
What they talking about?
I'm live on my Facebook page, and I can't say that because
Okay, yeah. Send me the details through messaging. I can see because I think I'm in 3 leagues right now, which is not too
you're a
bad.
baby.
I know Danielle. Well, I'm only in 3 because I don't feel like dealing with all the rigmarole with all the rest of them. I know my wife. I think she had like 7 last year.
Oh, your wife.
Oh,
Your wife. Hey, make it a family affair. Come on in.
No. Because then they'll be trading between each other. They're gonna trade between each other. I'm gonna beat all that.
Here's this. I'll join yours if you join mine. We're in a pick'em league to where you have to pick each game every week. But the only caveat is every week you have to before the season starts you have to declare a team, who your favorite team is, and no matter who that team is, you got to pick that team every week.
Okay.
Oh.
So
well, I don't know
if you want in on that.
Well, you send me the details through Messenger, and I'll send you my details. But I'm down for that. That's easy. That's handicapping games. I can handicap games. That's easy.
All right, that sounds good. All right, yeah. Send me the details, and we'll go with it. And then I think next Saturday I should be good. Which divisions we doing next weekend?
Well, we only have 4 left, so it's the West and it's just the West, the AFC West, NFC West, because I think we've done the North, we've done the South, we're doing the East right now, and we'll do the West next week.
All right, that sounds like a plan.
Both West,
you gotta
AFC
be,
and the NFC.
You gotta be real. You gotta be real, Vic. You know Washington ain't going better than 6-10, 6-11.
Tony, enjoy the pool. Don't get thrown in by your wife.
Look. Hey, JT, write it down. Washington will have the 5th pick in the draft.
Oh,
Tony, brother, my brother,
and they're gonna draft a quarterback.
I can believe that.
They don't have no choice.
I can believe they'll draft a quarterback. I think
they like Howell. I think they like Howell too much. I can't see them drafting another.
Howell who? The kid from North Carolina?
Yeah, because he and De'Ami Brown got that connection.
That ain't gonna work. Connections work in college, not in the pros.
Well, say that to Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Say that to
that was 1 year. All right, after Derek Carr, who?
And Devontae Adams.
You ain't seen it work yet.
It will.
And believe it or not, it wasn't that great. It wasn't that great in college. If it was that great in college, one of them would be a Heisman candidate.
But he's got a better supporting cast in the Raiders than he does at Fresno State.
Raiders ain't going nowhere. They're gonna be the worst team in that division.
What?
We'll talk about that next week.
No, Kansas City's gonna be the worst. It's gonna be Kansas City.
Yeah,
Like he said, we're gonna talk about
crazy
that
big
next
Kansas
week.
City. Yeah.
Oh, you make sure y'all ain't going to the pool. You ain't got nothing to do except sit in the house with a good, strong internet connection. Cause I'm coming for
I
your
got
ass.
you. I got you.
All right, brother. Be safe.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy.
You do the same.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Take care. My man. I'm telling you, Vic.
Shut up.
It's amazing how great minds think alike. It's amazing.
It's amazing how a demented 68-year-old mind
Okay.
and a young 40-something-year-old mind
Okay.
think alike.
Okay. You know, like I said, you can't handle the truth. Somebody tells you the same thing coming from two different sources without any coercion or hint of what.
You already knew where Tony was going to be. You already said that before we even got to this point.
Let me put it this way. He didn't hear a word that I said because he came on late. He came on late.
Jerry, just because y'all have the same outlook on the schedule does not mean he has the same reasoning. He did mention the thing about McLaurin, but he also mentioned something you never said.
It doesn't make a difference. We came to the same conclusion.
If I didn't love my computer, I would throw something at your screen. Just at you right now.
Because you don't like it. Because, you know, you're bad, man. You're bad. You don't like it. I'm sorry, but you don't like it. I can't help that.
Moving on, we did the Jets. Let's go to Miami.
Okay.
So Miami.
No
Here's
problem.
the deal. Miami added the big ticket Tyreek. They got rid of Devontae Parker, who was often injured. But Tyreek and Waddle is a very good combination. Now, people are worried about Tagovailoa. Here's the deal. The West Coast offense is perfect for Tagovailoa. Perfect. It doesn't expect him to go deep a lot, but it does expect him to have good timing, which I think he can have with the two receivers. You got Giesick, and you've got three running backs, Sony Michel, Morris, and I forgot the other kid's name that quick. But three headed monster in that running game. A good offensive line. Say again?
Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, Chase Edmonds, thank you. Who's more the receiving one, but you got all three of them in the backfield to run that same style of offense that was ran in San Francisco. You have two very talented outside wide receivers and an outstanding blocking / receiving tight end. Giesick is going to be a pretty damn good pickup for somebody. Okay,
and he has
a second. I'll call him Giesick. And the defense is pretty good. Miami is looking to make some moves now. It all depends on how well Tua picks up this West Coast offense. It's vastly different than what he was running under Brian last year. Vastly different. But if he does it from the head up, he'll be fine. I think, if anything, if Tua starts to show that he's not going to get it, Jimmy G's going to South Beach. I'm going to say that right now. If Tua does not look like he's getting it in the first couple weeks of the season, the Miami Dolphins are going to go to San Francisco and get South Beach. Go to get Jimmy G to bring him to South Beach. JT?
Yeah.
What are you looking at now? Not the camera. What's up?
Go right ahead, man. I'm listening to you.
I'm waiting on you. I already said what I was going to say.
Well, I'm not a big fan of Tua, man. But let me put it this way. Tua's probably in the best situation of an offense with West Coast offense, which is get the ball quickly out of your hands to the playmakers. But I'm not a big fan of Tua. I don't think he's going to be consistently inconsistent. That's my take on him. So as Tua goes, the Miami Dolphins goes. That's how I feel.
Well, that's what I was saying. But my question is, what is your outlook for the rest of the team? Like, how do you see the defense? How do you see the other tools?
Well, if the quarterback is consistently inconsistent, then I'm thinking that they are not going to do as well as most people think. To tell you the truth, because we rely too heavily on defense to pick up the pieces.
Do you got to step away? If you got to step away, we can roll.
No, I'm all right. I'm all right.
All right, I don't want you looking over your shoulder. I don't want somebody to come over there and pat. Maybe you need somebody to come over your shoulder and just pat you in the head a few times.
I mean, you like that, but whatever.
I would. It would make my day today.
I know it will. It don't make a difference. Whatever.
All right, let's go over the schedule.
All right. Home against the Patriots.
I think the Patriots are going to be bad this year. So Miami.
At the Ravens.
L.
Home against the Bills.
Tough game. It's in South Beach. I'm going to give that to the Dolphins.
Oh, God. At the Bengals.
Ooh, another tough game. They're not going to forget Tyreek. Ooh. I'm going to give it to the Bengals, though.
At the Jets.
I think I said the Jets upset them. So I'm going to give it to the Jets. That's another L.
Okay.
And this is where they start asking about Jimmy G. That's all I'm going to say.
Home against the Vikings.
Upset. Miami.
Yeah. Home against the Steelers.
Why so emotional? That's a win.
Okay.
So emotional.
At the Lions.
Win.
At the Bears.
Win. They're gonna beat the Bears, man.
They're gonna crap the bed in one of these games against the Lions. Lions defense is pretty decent.
Keep going.
Home against the Browns.
Jacoby might want some get back. But I like the Browns defense way more, so I'm gonna give it to the Browns.
Home against the Texans.
Win.
At the 49ers.
Jimmy G's revenge. Dolphins. Because he's gonna get traded to him.
At the Chargers.
At the Chargers, they're going East Coast to West Coast. That's an L.
At the Bills.
Bills win.
Home against the Packers.
I like the Dolphins.
At the Pats. Cold
They
weather.
sweep the Pats. They sweep the Patriots.
Hmm?
I said they sweep the Patriots.
Home against the Jets.
They're going to split with the Jets, so the Jets win that one.
You had them losing to the Jets at the Jets. So
if they win that one.
Yeah, okay. You're going to give the Jets 11 wins.
This isn't the Jets. This is Miami.
The Dolphins. I'm sorry. The Dolphins 11 wins.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever.
Dude, you are so hateful and spiteful.
Whatever. No, I'm not hateful and spiteful.
Let's go with the Patriots. Next up, here's the Patriots. Look, two things I don't like. I don't like the fact that McDaniels is not there. I don't like the fact that I understand there's no real person designated as the offensive coordinator, but at the same time, who's developing Mac Jones? They get rid of the fullback, which means they're either going to go more to a passing game or they're going to go to a spread offense to run the ball more. James White's the old head in the room, but I just don't trust the Patriots this year. The defense was what kept them in games last year. I don't think the defense is as good as it was last year. I think Bill Belichick did a great job last year as with what he has, but they didn't make the playoffs. And I think they missed the playoffs again this year. I think that they are going to come in third place in the AFC East. I just don't like the makeup of the Patriots this year. What are your thoughts, JT?
Well, let me put it this way. I think Matt Patricia's supposed to be calling the offense.
He's not the offensive coordinator. He's the offensive line coach or something like that.
If I'm not mistaken, either Joe Judge or Matt Patricia is supposed to be calling the offense.
Both of them are there. Neither of them have been designated to call the plays.
Well, let me put it this way. It's up in the air of who called the offense. That's a problem.
Yes.
Because the quarterback, the second-year quarterback, is used to hearing Josh McDaniels, talking to him on the sideline, talking to him in his ear and calling the plays. And that voice is not there. Anywhere. He is not there. So we're talking about a new voice and a new one calling the plays and a new one talking to him on the sidelines.
Yes.
So there's no continuity, so to speak, in the offensive play calling and quite naturally in the offense. Second-year quarterback, talked about this before. Second-year quarterback, it's important for a quarterback, a young quarterback, to get a good foundation. You can't be going up and down, up and down. He had a fantastic offensive coordinator / quarterback coach last year when he came into the league. Now he's got whoever, and that's a problem. And quarterback play is going to be crucial in the AFC East. And if you have turmoil, in my opinion, that's a problem. Plain and simple, a problem. And they based their offense basically on running the football last year. They're going to run a football like hell this year because it'll be a basic offense to run the football and play defense.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see any other option. Run the football and play defense and try to limit the amount of mistakes that the second-year quarterback makes or put him in a situation that he can't make mistakes. And that's running the football or checking down to the tight end or to the running backs. Very conservative offense I see for the Patriots. Very conservative.
Okay, let's go to the record.
All right, at the Dolphins.
Loss.
At the Steelers.
I like the Steelers defense more, so I'm going to give them a loss.
Ravens, home.
Loss.
At the Packers.
Loss.
Home against the Lions.
Win.
At the Browns.
Ooh. I love the Browns defense more because you're making pretty much the Patriots are one-dimensional. So I'm going to go with Cleveland. Loss.
Home against the Bears.
Win.
At the Jets.
I said the Jets sweep them, so loss.
Home against the Colts.
Surprise. They win.
They ain't beating the Colts.
I just said it's a surprise.
Yeah, it's a surprise. They ain't beating the Colts. Stop. Home against the Jets.
Jets sweep them.
Okay. At the Vikings.
Loss.
Home against the Bills.
Loss.
At the Cardinals.
Loss.
At the Raiders.
Bill has a good record versus his former people. That's another upset. Patriots.
The Patriots are going to beat the Raiders in Las Vegas. Ain't happening.
Can you go, please?
Ain't happening. Home against the Bengals.
Oh, this is in the winter too.
Bengals playing in cold weather doesn't make a difference.
I know that, but Foxborough's a different type of cold, bro.
So is Cincinnati. Cincinnati's on the river, man. You kidding me?
But the running attack is what I'm talking about.
God help him.
Upset. I'm gonna give it to the Patriots.
So in this season, the Patriots are going to upset the Colts.
Can you please go to the next game?
And the Bengals. That's what you're telling me.
Can you go to the next game?
Home against the Dolphins.
Dolphins sweep.
Last game of the season at the Bills.
At the Bills in Buffalo.
Bills do not like the Patriots.
The Bills
at all.
The Bills.
Okay.
I think I gave them like 5 and 12 or some
2, 3,
stuff.
4, 5. 5 and 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're one dimension. I'm predicating this on the Patriots being just so one dimensional.
They have no choice, man. They can't be a wide open offense. They can't be a wide open offense. They don't have the receivers, even though I think Jacoby Myers is probably going to be the one.
Myers is the one that got traded to the Bears. All they got is Devontae Parker, man.
I think I don't care who they have Devontae Parker. I'm thinking Jacoby Myers is going to be the one.
Myers is the one that just got traded to the Bears.
Oh, okay. Then I guess okay. Then if that's the case, I'm not a big fan of Devontae Parker at all.
Well, that's why I said they're so one-dimensional. And I think they're going to be close to the Jets in the bottom of the division. Let's finish this division out with the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, Buffalo is the darling of everybody's eye this year. They are going without Brian Daboll, and Ken Dorsey is going to be the offensive coordinator, who was the quarterback's coach. Ken Dorsey, for those who don't remember, was the University of Miami quarterback who had Andre Johnson and the rest of them and won a national championship. But when he got to the NFL, he was no more than just a journeyman quarterback. But that doesn't mean he cannot teach and that he can't provide insight to an offense that's executing pretty well. They bring in a guy I really love, Cook, Dalvin's little brother, to the fold. He's going to compete with Singletary because I think Zach Moss, even though he's a short yardage back, if Cook can prove that he can run short yardage, Zach Moss might be out the door.
I told you, Zach.
I know that Cook is not built for that. He's more of a third down receiving type back in the NFL, but you put some muscle on this kid, he might be just as good as his brother. He's faster than his brother. He's got better hands than his brother. But can he be better than his brother? We don't know. But I love that pickup. Gabriel Davis put on about 10, 15 pounds of muscle. I don't know if that's going to help or hurt him at the wide receiver position, because just because you got that muscle don't mean you're fast. DK Metcalf has been using that muscle and that speed for a very long time. not just one off season. Stephon Diggs didn't have the follow-up year that everybody wanted him to have, but I think he gets a little bit more. Dawson Knox has help. O.J. Howard joins him in Buffalo. And there was a little story that popped yesterday about, or this morning, I believe. Odell Beckham Jr. thought he got traded or he signed with Buffalo. So he called his agent because somebody put out a fake tweet saying, hey, you and Von Miller are together. And then he contacted his agent to see if that's what's happening. So you add another receiver to the fold with Emmanuel Sanders, who's the veteran on that team. You got some good weapons. And the defense got better. Von Miller. Is he going to be every down rusher? No. But can he bring some structure and some pass rush to that defensive line that desperately needs it? Because the back end's pretty good. The middle's okay. They need that front four to bring the heat. Von Miller can do that. With that being said, I love all the weapons here, offensively and defensively, even the kicker in Buffalo. Is this the year they finally go to the Super Bowl? I don't know, man. I don't know. JT, what are your thoughts on Buffalo?
That's their pick. That's a lot of people's pick to go to the Super Bowl. My belief, they ain't the one. There's too many variables, and I know they're going to be a good regular season team. Can they get it? Can they make some noise in the playoffs? First round, maybe second round, probably going to the AFC championship. But I got to believe that there's a lot of players that can not let the Buffalo Bills go to the Super Bowl. So let's go to this.
The schedule. All right. Now, obviously, I'm picking them to win the division.
So the first game of the season is Thursday night at the Rams.
I'm going to say they win that game.
Who?
Buffalo.
Home against the Titans.
W.
At the Dolphins.
W. No, they lose that one.
They lose. They
lose at Miami, but they're going to win in Buffalo.
At the Ravens.
That's a win. It's going to be a pass type game, and I don't think Lamar is ready to do that.
No, he's not. Home against the Steelers.
They want some get back from last year's season opener. Buffalo wins that.
At the Chiefs.
Buffalo.
Ooh, really? Home against the Packers.
Buffalo.
At the Jets.
Buffalo.
Home against the Vikings. Midway through the season. Basically midway through the season.
Yeah. Woo! That's going to be a tough one. I'm going to give it to Minnesota, though. Tough one.
Okay. Home against the Browns.
It's home. Buffalo.
Well, let me
if it was in the dog pound, I would have given it to Cleveland because that home dog pound is way different. Besides, I don't think Jacoby's going to be not the quarterback at that point. I think he will be the quarterback. If it was Watson, it would be a very close game.
The last time, and I'll tell you this little tidbit. The last time the Browns faced the Bills. Oh, the last time the Deshaun Watson faced the Bills with the Texans.
I don't care.
Deshaun Watson.
2 years ago.
Josh Allen was still a quarterback.
But Josh Allen wasn't as good as quarterback as he was these past 2 years. Keep moving.
And the pressure cooker was in the playoffs when they beat
Oh my goodness. Can we go, please?
I'm just saying history has a way of repeating itself.
Yeah, but he also didn't have Stephon Diggs, and he also didn't have the maturity that he did. That was his first real taste. Moving on.
I'm just making a little tidbit. I'm not just
what you're doing is being a Deshaun Watson fanboy. Let's move on.
I'm just saying. I down here.
We're done with Cleveland. I already said Cleveland loses.
I'm gonna put this tidbit because you think I'm a diehard Browns now.
Y'all see this?
Before you even put a
See this,
W,
right?
before you put a W, I had a W written on here for Buffalo. So come on, man. I was just putting that out there, just to put it out there. But
because you love Deshaun Watson so much and his massages.
I gave Buffalo a win.
I know, but you didn't have to put out there
at the Lions.
Look at the old mean man. Buffalo.
At the Lions.
Buffalo.
At the Pats.
The Packers?
At the Pats. Patriots.
Oh, Patriots? Oh, Buffalo.
Home against the Jets.
I thought I said they split.
Okay, so, then they lose. They lose at home against the Jets because you have them winning on the road against the Jets.
So, let's switch that. They lose at the Jets, but win.
Well, that doesn't make a difference. One's a win, one's a loss.
Yeah, but it's the beginning and yeah, they're going to split. So,
home against the Dolphins.
That's a split, and I believe they lost to the Dolphins in Miami, so they're going to beat Miami at home.
At the Bears.
Win.
At the Bengals.
This is a tough game.
Second,
Cincinnati.
I think last game of the season.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati is going to be fighting for that wild card spot.
Okay.
If Baltimore doesn't win the division.
Last game of the season.
I'm going to say
home against the Patriots.
Can I get it out? I'm going to give it to the Bengals. I'll give it to the Bengals.
Okay, that's what I wrote down. Home against last game of the season. Home against the Patriots.
They sweep the Patriots.
Okay.
That should be 13-4, something like that.
I gave him 13-4. You gave him 14-3.
Okay. I mean, not too far off. Not too far off. You good? You're hearing good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, I saw you up there messing with your hearing aid or something. Well, I'm just saying, look like you was messing with your hearing aid. I ain't want to mess with they can read lips. We're not on Blog Talk right now, so they can read your lips. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap it up for us on the two divisions, NFC East, AFC East. Plus, we went over my first fantasy draft of the year.
With Dr. Phil's help.
Excuse me?
With Dr. Phil's help.
The old man has a problem. I got to get him his medication. But next week, we're going to close it out with the final two divisions. The AFC West, which we're going to save for last, and the NFC West. NFC West is not as good as it was last year. Russell Wilson's departure and some upheaval in the division has caused that change. But we're still going to talk about him next week. With that being said, what's happening tomorrow, briefly, JT, on the master plan?
On the master plan, I'm going to be talking about injured players coming back. Talking about injured players coming back.
All right, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for the master plan tomorrow. And I want to thank Tony for jumping on. And anybody else that wanted to say something but didn't say anything, thank you for tuning in. We greatly appreciate you. Again, if you're here, we're going to give the best we got. If you want to join in our fantasy leagues, let us know. I'm running two different ones this year, a big one and a regular one. So let's get it cracking, okay? Let's get it cracking. With that being said, thank you, JT, for being here as usual. Busting my chops, being a difficult individual as you always are.
No problem.
Yeah, I know.
That comes easy for me.
I know. So with that being said, thank y'all on Blog Talk. We're going to catch y'all next week.
Peace.
You wanna talk back? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your face. I know you got to live, you know I got mine. But there's like 50 other dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir. Next caller, please. And if I don't concur, we can agree to disagree. We're talking fantasy, sports, and